So we bought a moldy lake house here in Wisconsin to flip. Was this a huge mistake? Should we have bought it? Am I regretting the decision now? We're gonna tour you guys through this place because it is one of a kind. So as you can see, we are standing in the living space, the dining area, the kitchen area, completely open concept design. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the views from this particular spot, like I can see myself in a nice lazy boy recliner here, watching the lake, sipping on a cup of joe, cup of coffee, we'll say, and just enjoying this gorgeous, gorgeous view. This is hard to beat. It's like a once in a lifetime type of flip house, and ultimately I would consider moving here. A little bit too small, so we're gonna end up remodeling it. But I'll show you the main issue of what's going on, where the water damage is coming from, what is causing all the mold. And when I say mold in this specific video, I'm not talking about the black mold that's going to kill you. This is an airborne mold that it can cause headaches, it can cause like nose issues, sinus issues, so on and so forth. But we'll show you guys inside. So in the master bedroom, obviously you have a lakefront view right here, but the main issue is this particular crawl space. So up until yesterday when I was here, the crawl space had about 7 inches of water sitting in it. And I'm gonna hop down here. There's no water anymore, fortunately. But we are going to just give you guys the grand tour of this place. I'll have Katie hand me the camera. So as we are looking at this crawl space, you can see a soaking wet moist or vapor barrier, as well as a sump pit that is constantly flowing. So the basement is still soaking wet. Yesterday I wasn't able to get down there because of the amount of water. I at least had to put on my muck boots. And what happens is there's a moisture barrier that's supposed to keep the water out or at least flowing underneath. In this particular property, that is just so waterlogged that it causes moisture, it causes mold to grow because it's wet down there 24/7, especially because one of the sump pumps wasn't functioning when we bought the place and the other sump pump is also not functioning. So you have water backing up, the sump pits aren't working like they're supposed to, and it's not pumping the water to the lake. So this is the main step one of getting this dried out, getting all the old moisture barrier ripped out, and then we can start the renovation process. But as we continually bring you guys through the place, you can see here, nice master bathroom. Our plan, at least in here, is we're just gonna cosmetically, we're gonna paint this old, this is knotty pine trim. We are probably just gonna peel this off, replace it with new stuff, varnish it, so then it will look exactly like this. But the house isn't in terrible condition. I already have a headache from being down in that crawl space for just a little bit of time because the smell is so strong. It's just, there is a ton of moisture down there, and eventually that'll have to be dried out. But I know you guys always tune in for the numbers on our deal. So let me break down the numbers for you just so you know what to expect. Initial purchase price on this particular property, like I said, we're on the lake. We have about 100 feet of frontage, probably a 0.7-ish acre lot. We paid $495,000 for this house. A whole lot of money. Like that, this is not a first-time home flipper sort of deal. This is an experienced renovator that has the funds to do it. And we actually ended up obtaining a commercial loan on it for the full purchase price. And in here, you can see, just switching topics really quick, we're gonna do some paint here. We're gonna paint this black. We're gonna get rid of this god-awful baby blue color. And then the same thing is going on here with the trim, but we should just be able to sand this off. We'll revarnish it. It's gonna look like brand new once it's done. So as I was saying, we obtained the commercial loan. So the commercial loan that we obtain will cover the full purchase price plus the renovation costs. So on our side, we had to come out of pocket for closing costs about $4,000, $5,000, nothing too serious. But the bank just requires us to make them a monthly mortgage payment, and then they will allow us funds on draw to fix up the place. And I believe we will have probably between 20 to 30,000 stuck into this place with the mold remediation, which I'll discuss what we specifically have to do for that a little bit later on in this video. Plus we're remodeling the kitchen already. We have the new quartz countertops in. This was about $1,800 for all of these counters. We have the new stainless sink in, of course, single bowl as I had mentioned in the last video. And then we're gonna be putting new flooring throughout. It's gonna be vinyl plank in this area. We're gonna get rid of the old carpet seam that used to be here because it just breaks up the living room too much. It doesn't feel as open concept as it could. And then we just need to install more carpet in the bedroom areas and make sure it looks nice. So once the renovation is done, then we're expecting to resell this for somewhere around like $650,000 to $700,000. Our appraisal on the place actually came in at $750,000 once completed, but we're pricing them a little bit more affordably so we can sell them quick. And the holding costs are absolutely insane. With the expense on a monthly basis, we're probably paying about $3,500 a month just to hold this place right now. But now taking you guys outside, this is like a 3-season porch area. I don't know if technically could be considered 4-season because you have some electric baseboard heat here. Obviously it got a little hot. That's a little dangerous. Maybe trim up the blinds a tiny bit so you don't burn this whole house to the ground. But again, these lake views, we'll go out here really quick because it is so pretty, and this is what people are paying for. It's probably one of the nicer lake front homes in the area. And being on this side, it's Lake Butamore is what we're sitting on right now. But being on this side of Butamore, you can watch the absolutely gorgeous sunsets. You're surrounded by extremely nice properties. And Mila is about to jump in the water down there. Hopefully she doesn't. And the main issue why there's so much water in this basement is because the entire premise of the yard, it basically settles back towards the house. And it was built in the 1950s, 1960-ish time frame. So they just didn't raise it up like they should have, which is causing all the issues down there in the crawl space. So taking you guys back inside, in this particular area, all that we are going to do is we'll probably end up throwing some vinyl plank in here, just make it a little bit more weatherproof, especially if people are coming in from outside in the lake. They don't necessarily want to be walking on carpet. It's just not an ideal situation because then the carpet pad gets soaked. This room starts to smell really musty, really moldy, but then it'll flow in through here. In the plan, we are not changing anything. Ooh, there's a nail there. I just sent it right through my hand. We're not changing anything with the knotty pine. So it's gonna be a little bit more rustic feel. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I think the buyer on this, they can change things if they want to. Our goal is to get in and out as quick as possible. And I think if we stick around $20,000 to $30,000 in renovation, then we should accomplish that goal pretty easily. But now going into how do we address the mold in the crawl space area? What do we do to remediate that? So our plan of action there is, first off, it needs to get dried out. So we need to get both sump pits working. If they're not both working, there's still gonna be water issues down there, which ultimately does not help our cause. So first things first, we will change both of those out. We've already changed one, we just needed to wait for it to dry out to change the other. Once the sump pits are up and working, they're pumping all the water to the lake, then we can rip out the current vapor barrier, which is all moldy, it's all waterlogged. It reeks really, really bad just from the amount of water that was sitting down there. So that's step number 2. Now, once that is done, we'll get fans down there, they'll dry everything out, so the guys can then reinstall a new vapor barrier. It's pretty much just like a plastic substrate that they lay over the dirt floor that's down there. So it's completely sealed, it's completely weatherproof to hopefully mitigate any other issues from happening. And once that all happens, they will treat the entire space for basically mold particles. So I don't know the exact situation or what they do to mitigate that, but by them doing that, it's gonna kill the airborne stuff, especially down in the crawl space. They're gonna have to cleanse the entire upstairs part. We're gonna have to clean the ductwork. We're gonna have to go through that entire process so the air doesn't continue to circulate with the mold particles. And by us cleaning all the surfaces, wiping everything down, treating literally everything in this property, it will be 100% good to go. There shouldn't be any more mold particles in the air, and we ultimately end up doing an air quality test just to make sure the next buyer is completely in the clear and we don't have any future liability that we would need to worry about on our side. So this isn't like a traditional water damage property because there is absolutely no issues going on above ground. It's solely in the crawl space, mainly due to the house sitting so low, being right next to the water. It's just gonna have copious amounts of water out there, and if we're not pumping it on a consistent basis, it's gonna just keep overflowing. We're not gonna be able to solve the issue. So that's why we need to take the precaution, get it fixed the first time, just so we don't have to worry about it going down the road. Now, in this kitchen area, kind of going over the renovation here, Katie, who's behind the camera right now, suggested that we change out these fixtures. We most likely will, just to get something a little bit more modern, a little bit more updated. We're gonna switch out these white appliances, so a white stove, white dishwasher. We'll throw in stainless in here, get this ugly white microwave out of here. And then ultimately that will solve the cosmetic issue. So we're leaving a lot of the original color scheme, so we're not gonna paint any of the faces or the boxes for the cabinets. We just wanted to put in a really nice quartz countertop because it is a little bit higher end property, especially in our area. And I think anyone who buys it is expecting a house that they can move into without any issues. And now touring you guys through the rest of the property, there's not a whole lot. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath house. We have a nice laundry room here. Then we have the utility closet, which has the water heater, furnace, everything like that. They left the washer and dryer for us, so we'll leave those for the next owner. We probably should have replaced these, but I might reach out to the countertop guy to see if he can throw a new slab in here, because that green, it doesn't fit the color scheme or the style of property that we're going for. It's literally the same green that's around all this window trim, which I personally do not like. But then we'll paint all this stuff black, get that looking pretty, paint these doors black. We have a golden doodle right here that decided to travel out here in the garage. And then you have a nice, let's see if we can get a light. No lights in the garage, but we have a nice 2-car attached garage. A little bit smaller, but again, the lot is so large on the outside that if someone wanted to put up an additional garage or even add an addition to this, they really shouldn't have any issues as long as it's up to today's code. But that is too much of an expense that we are not willing to take on our side. So some of you might be wondering, after I went through the entire house, entire breakdown, how much does the mold remediation typically cost? This job will roughly be between about $5,000 to $7,000, just due to all the demo work, all the duct cleaning, all the air quality tests that we need to have done. It can get fairly pricey, but if there was mold issues above grade or above ground, then it would be significantly more expensive. If the roof was leaking, or if the windows were shot, or if there is an exterior issue, that can become extremely, extremely expensive, and you should budget accordingly, or at least talk to a mold expert in your local area. And on our side, why we still ended up buying this place, because Joe had negotiated this deal, he had talked with the owner, he had went through literally everything on his side, and the main reason that we still bought it, because I told him, I'm like, Joe, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to own a lakefront property, and people want to be living on the lake realistically no matter what the cost would be. So I said, if you can get it for the right price, we can do the mold remediation, that won't be an issue. We can do the renovation, interior work, because the exterior is completely spotless right now. So taking all of those things into consideration, he gave them the offer of $495. Supposedly they ended up talking with another investor who was willing to offer more money for the place, but they had a 90-day due diligence period, and the owners became freaked out by that. And we had told them, hey, we'll give you the proof of funds through our bank or a pre-approval letter. We'll put down earnest money that's non-refundable. We are absolutely serious buyers, and we can close in 21 to 28 days without any sort of issue. And because of all those things, we were able to lock this place up for the competitive price. We're able to probably make, when everything's all said and done, after commissions, holding costs, renovation costs, mold remediation, it'll probably be a net $75,000 to $85,000 deal, which is a huge, huge win in our book. And that's based upon a resale of right around $650,000 to $675,000. And if we end up getting more, hey, that's a cherry on the top. But as of right now, that is the plan of action with this place. So if you ever run into a water damaged type of property or mold work or mold remediation and you guys have comments, feel free to drop them down below. I would love to interact. I would love to chat with you. Obviously some issues are larger than others, but this particular place, it's very clean, it's very easy. It shouldn't be a huge deal to get it all taken care of. I believe we should have this property turned in about 30 days because we're knocking out some of the major stuff already. We'll get our painters in here this week and then start fast tracking the whole renovation process. And if you guys enjoyed the content, please hit the like and subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. And if there's ever anything I can do to help, comment down below. I will catch you guys in the next video.